an amiable kind of way, and I presume you have.
Well, Jane's still in the process of doing it.
Well, she's helping a lot of people work that out, I think, because it's an important question.
Yeah, she doesn't. She's not against the idea particularly.
Yeah, I guess maybe that's the point I was trying to make before, is that she was, the idea, you wasn't against the idea of these things. You didn't even believe in it, but you still were willing to look at things anew. I mean, you were a poet, so you must have had you were willing to look at things anew. You weren't closed-minded.
Well, that's a good point. Yeah, I'd like to say that.
But it was a healthy openness.
Right. When the whole thing began, it didn't take us long at all to realize that it was a creative endeavor, and that underlay everything else we did, and that's the main reason we decided to continue. I think that, as Jane said earlier, it had been too much of anything, too sentimental or too religious or too even pragmatic. We'd have turned away from it. But as it was, it suited us, of course, and so we chose to
and that if I may say, that comes through the book. The book is beautiful.
Yeah, well, that's the thing that we're mostly interested in telling people about.
But I wonder, maybe you could continue a little bit more chronologically. So there was this entity, Seth, made himself available. Maybe you could tell them a little bit about Seth's state or Seth's session.
Well, after the board session stopped, as they did very quickly, I just began speaking the words automatically for Seth without knowing what I was saying until I came out of trance. There was no training per se for this, no self-hypnosis, nothing. It just happened. Although I did give consent. That is, had I not wanted to do it, it wouldn't have happened. But I was so curious. I wanted to know what was happening. In the beginning, I paced the floor constantly in trance. I refused to sit down because I'd read about Casey, and he lay down on a couch, and I thought, no, not for me. I'm not going to, and I figured that if I didn't like what was going on, I could run, which was silly because I was the one that was doing it. And then it took, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 years before I'd sat down, before I then would close my eyes. And then there was a period where I closed my eyes and never opened them, and then where all of a sudden I opened them, but I was in a deeper, of course, kind of trance than I had been before that transition. The one point on reincarnation I wanted to mention, though, too, and Seth.
A lot covered there. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, was that one of my first short stories was on reincarnation. And I thought as an idea or a concept, it was great. I loved to play around with it. But when this starts happening, when, say, magic becomes real, and all of a sudden you're told, well, you had this kind of life, or you did this, or this is a fact, then I balked. Because it was one thing for me to play around with the concept and think, well, I go for it, or I don't, or what. And another to accept it as a definite fact of existence. And also, I don't like, and never have, and Seth doesn't either, the idea of karma, as it's been spoken about so much, or the idea of guilt, where people believe, for example, that they're suffering in this life because of a karma that they have in a past life. I don't believe in that kind of a connection. And also I believe that all time happens at once. So reincarnations have to exist at the same time as this life, and there has to be a constant give and take.
All at once now.
Right. I like the idea of, say, simultaneous lives. I'm sorry.
Not at all. That's very interesting. I just hope we're not getting too far. There's a tremendous amount of information contained in what you just said. It's very poetic.
It's also complicated.
No, but it's also very tremendous economy of language. It's beautiful that you pay a lot of information contained in there. You do not have a sense of the. You take some exception to karma as has generally been interpreted through certain of the approaches to understanding the consciousness, but there is a time continuum. While things are happening there is an all at onceness to events. There is a certain continuum, or there are past lives or past experiences that people can be aware of and in touch with. You have become aware of past experiences of your own. Am I right in that?
To a small degree, Harold. It's not something that we've especially avoided. We have a little information on it, and the rest of the time we've just been too busy.
Yeah.
And we're also sort of saving that for a...
There was
Right.
Seth's experiences in Denmark.
Yeah, a few things like that in the very beginning, you see, which intrigued us no end, because we'd never even heard of this sort of thing.
That's a tremendously
You see, which was, that's what I meant earlier when I said it was creative, because to us, to even hear of this sort of thing was something new to us.
Yeah.
And we didn't know what to make of it. But we wanted to continue, and then when Jane began to hear the words in her head, we didn't know what that meant either. But we decided to continue because everything else seemed to be working all right in our daily lives.
And then I wonder, these kind of experiences, was there a very wide community of people that you could communicate with?
We told no one for a long time.
You did?
We told no one, and
Was that
we watched.
your own doubts, or was it?
We didn't know what we were
I
doing.
noticed that you had some doubts and wondering. I found that so beautiful in the books. You were really honest and open how you felt. It was surprising. Which was very good.
Even if we'd wanted to run out and tell somebody, we didn't know who to tell.
All right.
This stuff wasn't accepted
Right.
in those days to begin with, but until I actually started speaking for Seth, I had never heard of anyone speaking for anyone.
Right.
I had heard of Ruth Kernan, but I had never heard of anyone speaking for anyone. So again, when that happened, for all I knew, I was the only one alive.
No.
But I wasn't about to go and tell the neighbors particularly either. Not at the time.
What about now? Do you think there are very many people that...
From my mail, people are very interested in this, and there are certainly spiritualistic groups where they have a so-called spirit guide. Now, I don't call Seth a spirit guide either. I find myself in a peculiar position in that I don't particularly accept, I do want to watch my words, the dogma of any particular group, organization. This was my experience. I wasn't about to have it interpreted for me by others. I never thought of Seth as some white-cloaked spirit who was just floating around. Part of my life's work certainly is to try to understand the nature of our personalities, our personalities, what abilities we've got, what happens so that we can get this kind of information. And one of the things that I really hope is that people would begin to trust their own revelatory experience and not automatically cloak it in whatever dogma they believe in.
Right. That's beautiful. No, that's beautiful. Beautiful language. No, that's really fun. I wonder if we could back up just a little bit again for some of that, and come back again to Seth. And Seth is you have a Seth session, and excuse me if I'm saying, but you go into another consciousness,
right?
And a spirit. Is that the right word? How do we
Seth calls himself what? A personality.
Energy personality.
Energy personality Seth, who had an existence in the past.
Right.
Many existences in the past, which he is aware of, and has aware of a new consciousness, and comes and speaks through you. And you are in a trance state. Now you see, that would be something, I'm not even sure we've made that clear to people, but that's what happened. And that's Seth, that's who we're talking about. So we're talking another consciousness coming through you. You are a medium for that. You've come to know Seth pretty well.
Robbie has.
Right. You're not aware of it.
No, that is one of the, other people relate to him because they see the phenomena and they see Seth come through, whatever terms you want to use. Where I am not able to relate in that same way.
But you have your feelings, your interior experiences are unique, and no one else can approach those. See, in the beginning, Jane was always asking me, what did he say, how did he say it?
Yes.
Was he nice to these people that were here? And so forth and so on. And I would do my best to explain, but this is all from an observer's standpoint. It doesn't mean as much as her own subjective experience.
Right.
So through the books, we're really trying to disseminate that information.
And through